A tiny sound can empty the whole yard in 1 second. Watch the bodies first. Tails rise before the yard looks dangerous. The clue is small enough to miss. One metal ring tapping wood. To us, it is just a sound. To them, it may be a pattern. A few minutes earlier, the same yard looked harmless. The human routine may be quiet, but it still changes the map. The latch is tiny, but it keeps a memory of movement. One squirrel reacts before the others even look up. The warning does not need words. Bodies copy the question. The nearest tree is not random. It is the safest doorway. It is not loudness that matters most. It is what usually comes next. The clearest sign may be what is suddenly missing. Up the tree, they do not relax at once. They read the yard again. Sometimes the clue is metal. Sometimes it is a branch. A cautious squirrel can change its path by inches. Some sounds they make. Some sounds happen to them. The whole yard can answer before we understand the question. Not every small sound means danger, and that is the puzzle. After the first sound, the next few seconds matter. The first return is almost never bold. The seed is still there, but the yard is not the same. When nothing follows, curiosity slowly wins back a little ground. A sound near the porch does not feel the same as one in the hedge. Cover can turn a scary crossing into a safer one. A faraway sound can matter if it changes the yard's mood. The loud sound is obvious. The tiny one is the surprise. This time, the escape is shorter because the yard gave more clues. The same sound can make a different choice when the rest of the map is quiet. The yard is full of landmarks a squirrel can reuse. A knot in the fence can be more useful than a signpost. When a familiar route makes a new sound, it gets attention fast. A tail flick can be the first visible ripple. Even buried food can wait when the map changes. A little open hole can tell you the squirrel left in a hurry. A branch snap has a different shape than a latch tap. When the sound comes from its own foot, the squirrel checks differently. But a sound from the porch belongs to the unknown part of the map. One sound asks a question. The whole yard answers it. The bravest move is often just one careful step. Then the porch adds one more clue. One sound is a question. Two sounds can become an answer. Squirrels do not need a clock to notice a routine. From the fence, the squirrel can watch without joining the open yard. Sometimes the routine ends quietly, and the yard exhales. When the yard feels readable again, the old business returns. The feeder has its own little voice in the yard. Once the source is clear, the body changes fast. The same kind of tiny sound can mean different things. Some squirrels do not go down at all. They take the high road. From above, the yard connects in ways we rarely notice. The safest route may be the one that never passes the sound. Not every squirrel makes the same choice. Sometimes the smartest move is no move at all. No second sound can be a clue, too. The return path is not straight. It uses cover first. Normal does not return all at once. It returns in pieces. Then another tiny sound moves through the leaves. This time, the squirrel checks before running. The mystery is solved by one small wing. Source, direction, timing, and what follows. That is the real message. Once you see the clues, the yard looks different. A gate does not have to open far to change everything. The route is familiar, but the gate is acting differently. A human may hear only a creak. The squirrel sees a changed route. The old fence is not background. It is a squirrel road. Before the sound, the fence is busy. After it, the road goes quiet. An empty squirrel road is still saying something. When one road closes, another small landmark opens. Even the bird bath keeps a record of the detour. From squirrel height, the safest path is often a chain of shadows. A shadow can arrive before the sound that explains it. When shadow and sound arrive together, the choice gets easier. The yard does not know the reason at first. It only sees the pattern. From cover, the squirrel waits for the pattern to end. The first sign of confidence is not speed. It is shape. The old road is tested again, one careful step at a time. This time, the latch stays quiet. A quiet object can open the whole road again. When the yard settles, everyone seems to move lower again. But the yard can still ask one more question. The sound returns, but the rest of the yard gives a different answer. Wind changes many sounds at once, and that changes the meaning. This time, the squirrel does not go all the way up. Same sound, different yard, different choice. The squirrel does not know the word wind, but it can see the yard moving. The yard is noisy, but it is noisy in a predictable way. Then one sound does not match the wind. That mismatch gets a stronger answer. Sometimes the hidden cause is another squirrel on a different road. Seeing the source does not always start a chase. Sometimes it simply answers the question. A solved sound loses its power, and then the tiny porch sound returns one last time. This time, the squirrel checks the whole picture. The tree is still there, but this time, the squirrel does not need it yet. Its body tells the ending before the yard does. The tiny sound has been answered by the rest of the yard. A squirrel is not just hearing a sound, it is reading a scene. Your yard may be full of these tiny signals every morning. The best thing we can do is watch gently and learn the pattern. Even that little latch may be part of the morning story. By evening, the same road can feel ordinary again. The tree is still the safe tower, but it is not needed every time. Next time a squirrel bolts, look for the sound before the squirrel disappears. Wild does not mean careless. Familiar does not mean tame. In your yard, the clue might be a latch, a twig, a chain, or a door. Maybe your own yard has one tiny sound they already know. Which sound makes your squirrels run first? One tiny sound sent them up the tree, but the real story was the map they were reading. The next tiny sound may already be waiting on your porch. What sound makes squirrels in your yard run first? The latch is quiet now, but it has already changed how we see the yard, and tomorrow, the same tiny sound may mean something new.